show. And I always thought that the more and more I watched and immersed myself in the comedy, that just maybe the next time I shouted, "The devil made me do it," that would actually keep me from getting spanking number 18 of the day. Yeah, I was a bad kid. I remember trying to sneak out of the house to go to choir rehearsal with my uncle and having him send me back in the house because I was too young. At the same time, I remember hearing my mother channel their ancestors through jazz standards and Baptist spirituals, learning rituals passed down from generations past like family prayer sessions and saying grace before each meal. I remember walking home from school in the first grade with the house key around my neck while waiting for my mother to get home from job number 2 with these simple instructions. Some of my latchkey kids might remember these. Lock the door, turn off the crock pot, do your homework, and if y'all done grew up with a black mama, y'all don't know about time travel. Boy, so help you God, if you open the door for anybody, I'll knock you into the middle of the next week. I actually thought she could do it. But I remember how she made ends meet. I remember how she sent me to New York and Europe on a bus driver salary. So I remember all these things, but for the life of me, I can't really remember my father being there for me. When he appears in my memories, things remind me of a happy time in my childhood, like the smell of weed smoke, the Bay Bridge, and Billie Holiday's Good Morning Heartache, song sung by my mother acting as a father when my biological didn't bother, but I remember. Now, some folks say it takes a village to raise a child. Now, this here is true to a certain extent, but only men can truly raise men. I remember crying periodically from 8 to 12 years old because it hurt me deep down in the core of my soul because my daddy didn't want me no more, although he did. In a funny way of showing it with all the reneged promises, delayed child support payments, and non-visits. See, no one knows the immense suffering of a child who at the age of 12 years old came to the conclusion that it was his fault and needed to be a better son, so his biological father would teach him how to do things like ride a bike, tie shoelaces up tight, even stand up and pee right. Thank the Lord for my mother who chastised me with sensitivity and put her loving arms around me every time I came to the conclusion that I didn't need that punk bastard around me, consoling me through the jigsaw dreams, anointing with the discolored pieces of a teardrop mosaic held together by memories. And I remember, and I wish I made this story up and that this story was unique, but it isn't, because there's thousands of other men who've endured this amount of suffering just like me, who made a vow to father to be fathers to their children by breaking the cycle of genocide just like me. I'm telling the story for everyone who grew up in a home minus one piece. Now, over the years, I've learned to deal and move on with my life by devoting my lifetime to making my son's life bright. But I remember missing one thing, see. About 2 years ago, my father was a potential victim of cancer, and I cried that night. But not because of the fear that's associated with death, but because I could never remember hearing him say he was sorry for not loving me.